For some crazy reason, it was giving me a problem. Well, have the I have a long weekend. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, Thank you for staying subscribed. I'm gonna compel myself to get back more into fitness. Gonna go hiking today. I got the long weekend. First time I've had a long weekend in 4 years. So yeah, I'm on what you call the OT list, OTDL, overtime desired list. And forgive my eyes, it's just weird to look down here. So I want to intuitively look at my face on the screen. I usually make the videos on the phone, but actually it's better to be able to just use the laptop. I do have, I think, a webcam that I bought. I should use it. And I have a good microphone. I'm going to plug that in. So, yeah, overtime desired list. I've been doing volume. I do a lot of volume. Cut some riffraff at work. You know, I'm a smooth guy. You know, I'm not a guy that argues. And I get points. You know, I don't tell people what to do. People work the way that they work. You know, so even if a supervisor is going to tell me to be faster, well, the kind of the riffraff is like I'm working too fast. I get that point, but you know, when you're used to more volume, and plus I'm just a energy guy anyways, you work your comfort zone at your pace. I think that's true. Maybe that gives some people some problems at the post office. They're naturally a take it easy person, and now they have to work faster. So it's harder for them to be consistent because they're expected to work at a faster pace than what's their natural pace of working. You know what I mean? So I'm an energy guy for various reasons. I've handled riffraff on jobs about speed. So I handle it all right. You know, I don't get involved. I just will just leave the person alone. You know what I mean? For a while. What else do you do? You know, if you know they're gonna always talk to you about the same thing, I mean, what do? I mean, just say nothing. You know, avoid it. That's pretty much how I handle it. I could get mad about it, whatever, because I'm an angry guy. I think it fuels my motivation a lot, my work ethic, being mad all the time. I always find a reason to be mad. And sadly, in a way, the post office will give you plenty of reasons to be mad. Um, it's the raining down of discipline. PDIs, they call it pre-disciplinary interviews. I do my job in under 8 hours. I'll do the piece in the deadline, and then you get sent back out, and then I'm doing a piece I didn't know, and now I'm going over a little bit. And here you are, PDI. You explain, hey, I was done. Yada, yada, yada. I got sent back out. It was like 10 of 7 o'clock. And it's raining and it's dark. And you go over a little bit. That's the reason why I'm a believer in a standard volume to kind of help protect you from that. getting into trouble for doing more than what you were assigned at the beginning of the day. Um, so yeah, I get a 30-day. Well, I don't know how long it's going to be. By default, it's 2 years. So they handed me a warning for that. 2 days later, it's a friggin' hefty ass day. I get done with the route at 5. Oh, you went over. I might not be the fastest in the office, but I'm one of the faster people, that's for sure. If I got done at 5, you can trust it took till 5. I jam packed the truck, had to reload it again, like I typically do. Just then, and again, a few days later, it's a Monday, hefty day, got a route and a half to do before I go do the piece. I'm like, yeah, I have a good jump start. It's like 3 o'clock. I'm good, you know. And I asked the supervisor, I'm like, hey, can you help out with the pickup at the end? It's a collections company that makes little small little boxes of stuff. And so I get there at like 10 to 7. I'm like, yeah, little did I know, I'm going to jam pack the truck. And of course, I have to neatly stack it so I can maximize the space. And hey, it's 7:20 now. Here I am running up against the deadline. It's the same story over and over and over again. Better not go over. You better not go over. And then I get back to the office just in the nick of time, 7:29. I was a PTF at this time. And I see a bunch of scanners hung up. And I'm telling you, I'm pretty smooth at not, talking back, um, expressing my anger. I'm pretty good at restraining that. So, yeah, I was a little bit pissed off. And of course, all this is like within a week or two, week and a half. It's just, and of course, before this, I've received PBIs for things. And I'm like, man, what the living hell, dude? I mean, it's like I've worked for 3 years at the post office, get 2 warnings, and I'm not getting rained down, discipline's raining down upon me here, I mean, what the frick? And I'm doing volume, you know what I mean? I'm doing my fair share of the work, you know what I'm saying? And in my mind, it's like usually that kind of stuff happens to people you don't like that are not good at the job that you want to try to get rid of. I mean, obviously, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, So, it's been a little bit of a tricky road trying to maintain a positive attitude, because that's how you lose a good attitude. You know what I'm saying? It's just thinking about this crap all the time. It's just like the paranoia of it, And it leads me on to thinking about the advancement of AI and how intelligent they are as an agent. That their knowledge in computing is that of a PhD in molecular biology. So when it comes to the contract of the JCAM, maybe, well, the JCAM's an interpretation of the real deal. They're going to be able to know the original contract that was developed, not just the JCAM, and probably be the most expert at all the rules. Being a machine, AI would know all the forwards across the country at all times, and getting the human element. All the grievance money would not be paid because the robot's going to be, this AI is going to be exact right, like with the contract uh, all the time. And it's not going to violate any rules. So that's something to worry about, when it comes to like your job security and with all this craziness. Um, kind of the lack of understanding, I think. Well, that fits like a glove, it's just, so yeah, you could see AI running the show in the future. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Uh, it could happen. And I think how agile the bots are, it would be easy for them to deliver the mail. Um, then maybe they'll just have like a relay box system like they used to in the neighborhoods and have these bots just use the relay boxes and deliver the mail like we used to, but it would be the bots doing it. I mean, it's weird, but the way our system is, the way that Trump is utilizing his authority in the system to make all these moves, seemingly without the need of congressional support, is kind of tricky. So, like, I don't know. It's kind of scary. Um, so it's a scary thing. At the same time, I'm grateful to have a job, for sure. It's a scary time, uh, thinking about all the jobs that are not going to be present in this country. Is not just a conspiracy theory. It's actually pretty scary to think about. Again, I'm not an economical expert, but to think about job security and uh, AI and what the heck are you gonna do? When you got all these people that need a job and can't get a job, what the heck are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's just a baffling thing to think about. It's not something you want to think about, but I guess you have to think about it. So maybe they could justify the use of AI based on poor management. Um, be like, hey, AI is going to do the perfect job. You're not going to have ever any unfairness because you got bots and the AI thinking machine that's going to know the contract inside and out and it's never going to fail and never going to cheat. So, yeah, it's kind of a freaky thing to think about. And then even further, they have bots with that AI walking the mail every day. And the other complications with that solves the issue of customer service. What are you going to do? Complain about a bot being bad? Bot's programmed to be right. Not going to be able to complain. It's tricky stuff. Tricky stuff. So, but I'm not ungrateful. I'm not trying to come across that way. But that's part of life, handling the riffraff of life and management. How to maintain a good attitude. I mean, I get it. You should spread out your work. I'm not saying to run the routes. But people, I think I'm right about that. People have their own personal pace at what they like to work. And when you're trying to work beyond or under a pace, even under a pace that you're naturally going to work, I don't think you're going to do it. Even if an authority's telling you to, you're probably not going to do it because it's just not the way that you're used to being. You know what I mean? People just work the way that they work. And plus, if they're worried about overtime being eaten up, that's on the supervisor. It's not on me. No. The supervisor is the one that assigns the work. You're talking to the wrong person. But it is what it is. Rules. I almost bought disability insurance, and I withdrew from it. I went and I deleted the allotment. I realized what made me want to sign up for it is because you're buying peace of mind and security, right? They're selling you insurance that's like, well, if you're outside of work and you get hurt, you get paid. And so you're thinking about that, like anything can happen. And, you're out of work for a couple of weeks. You want to be able to pay your rent, right? So it's a selling point. But then there's a 2-week waiting period. So what's the odds that I'm going to be out for more than 2 weeks? Looking at my history of my life, I was out for 2 weeks with my feet, and then I was back to work. So even then, and I worked with my bad feet for months. So the odds are really strongly I'm not going to need it. So it's just don't fork over $56 a month for that, especially if they're going to come up with some kind of loophole when you need it not to pay you. And then you just lost all that money. So I thought about it. I took some advice, and I withdrew from it. So I'm not going to buy the insurance. No, but I do have health insurance, dental, and I'm definitely going to do the 5% at least with the investment. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have my car paid off. I'm not spending my money like I was, so I'm doing well with that. And I've had a long hold down on a route, which it's not a bad route, but I'm excited to get onto some walking routes. I want to walk again. Driving all the time is just. There was a freaking dog on the sidewalk ahead of me, and I thought it belonged to the house, but then there's no one around the dog, and then it walks across the street. I'm like, man, it's the German Shepherd just walking around the street, man, with no one around him. And this is like the second time I was on this street, where I had this like tortoiseshell looking dog. It's like a pit bull kind of that stayed silent. I went and delivered a mail, walking across the lawn. Here's this dog running at me, dude. I'm like, holy shit. It was camouflaged in the leaves. I couldn't see it, and I didn't hear nothing. And so I delivered the mail, So, yeah, that street, I don't know about that freaking street. You know what I mean? I was like, holy shit. It's unreal. Freaking dogs all over the place. I need to get my dog spray. Yeah. I don't like dog. I never sprayed a dog. Even the dog that bit me, I didn't spray it. So, yeah, I'm happy that spring's here. I don't have to wear my gloves. Yeah, pretty psyched about that. My feet are still good. It's a good time of year, yeah, when the season changes. I didn't get sick at all this winter, and people got sick. So, been pretty lucky. I'm settled into the place. I've got another light. So, yeah, um, I'm doing pretty good. Trying to be wise with all the financial stuff going on in the world. It seems to be, in a chaotic kind of weird place. So yeah, and I'm not complaining about, the management. I don't really have any problems with them, but it's just, how to handle that kind of stuff when, that's why I'm a firm believer in a standard of volume. I think it would help protect the carrier more than it would help management come after you. Because then you could be a little bit protected after you were assigned your work. You did your assigned work, and now you're doing more, and you happen to go over a little bit. But I don't know. I don't think I'm getting fired anytime soon. But I don't think Trump can just do what he's been doing, just like assign the post office to a different department and then just sack a bunch of people. But you never know. That's the thing. That's you intuitively you don't want to believe that, but you never know. He might do that, and he might be able to get away with it. So you never know. So who knows? Um, it was crazy light the last couple of days, that's for sure. Light. I wasn't trying to be fast yesterday. I had quite a few responses texting, not while I'm driving. And I got done at like 12:45. I'm like, holy crap. No, it was 1:45. Well, I was back at the office for, I think, 2 o'clock. And then I did a piece, and then I did another piece that I wasn't assigned, and I was done at like 4:15 and on my way home. So the route that I'm on typically has a ton of packages, and there was like 5% of what I'm used to, like 5% of like the lightest day that I've seen. It was crazy. There was only like 20 packages, and I'm used to doing well more than 100. So I mean that's just a phenomenally light day. So pretty soon it won't be because you're working too fast. There just won't be any overtime. So if it stays the way it's staying, I guess it's a natural slow period anyway. So yeah, make use of your time. I haven't gotten a check yet with my new pay rate, so I'm a little nervous how much lower my paycheck's going to be, especially after the health insurance. I'm not going to gamble and cancel the health insurance. I could, I could be like, all I need is the dental. I'm never sick. But the time I got bit by the dog, that cost, it was just 3 stitches and a short period of work. And it was like $1,950. So, if you really want to gamble with that and then lose more, just to save a little money. So I'm not going to gamble. I am 50 years old. So, yeah, they're talking about the measles outbreak in Texas. Like, what the hell, dude? People getting sick, but I'm I guess pretty lucky. Grateful to be healthy. Especially when I was young, I didn't care. Um, yeah, so it's good to be healthy. Um, Luckier than most, so gotta be grateful. Keep a good attitude. There's a lot of people that need a job now. And in the future, there's going to be a lot of people losing their jobs. So nothing's ever forever. So gotta make the best of what you got. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go hiking in the woods today. So get busy. I'm just a person that needs to do something, I guess. I saw that Bill Burr interview, or maybe not. Yeah, you just talk about needing to be busy because it prevents you from having to deal with your shit, And I can relate to that, So, in a way, I mean, maybe that's the reason why I like to work all the time. And it just prevent the idle time where you're going to have to face the demons of your mind, right? So if you're constantly focused, moving all the time, you kind of like put things off to the side or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a little bit of that, I guess. In moderation, right? You can't just sit there and think about real shit all the time. You got to balance it out. Yeah, it's good to take responsibility, but at the same time, it's healthy to point the finger outwards. So, yeah. Um, yeah, one person's like, oh, yeah, you should transfer again. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm like, yeah, I think I told you guys, I got converted. So I'm now a regular. So, and the office is a good office. The people there are good. I don't have any problems with anybody. Um, Even with the discussion about, oh, yeah, you got to slow down, whatever, it's typical. I don't have a problem, but, you got to be smooth in how you handle disagreements, I guess. What is the purpose of arguing? Um, we all have our beliefs. Um, I don't have a problem with anybody who makes sure that they time the work out. You know what I mean? I don't go around telling people what to do. I'm pretty self-centered, so I'm not gonna let you tell me what to do because I do what I like to do. So I mean, it's just the way it is. But yeah, the car's working pretty good. I take care of it, so got the rent paid, got my bills in the bank, so things are settling down. So yeah, um, gonna find something. I'm gonna get back into running again. Um, Back onto my bike. Um, that would be a way to handle the stupid, oh, you're going up against the clock things. Just get on the 8 hour list. I know I can do every route there in 8 hours. So that would be a strategy to prevent yourself from getting in trouble by like you're sent back out again after you do your work, and here you are losing track of a little bit of time, and here you are freaking running up against it. So if you're on the 8 hour list, then therefore you don't have to worry about it. I mean, that would be, I guess, the way to handle that, right? So kind of balance out what you want to do. but I need the money. So I'll try to pay off the car before the end of the year. Hopefully I can do that. So yeah, the future and bots and wondering how is the country going to be able to handle what that's going to do is the mind-boggling thing to think about. Is the loss of jobs. How are people going to pay their rent? How are people going to move money around? Maybe that's a little bit of this week being really light. Is not only seasonally, it would be the light time period, but obviously people being fearful, they're not going to spend as much, maybe, and packages will go down. And it goes to show getting done at like 12:45 or 1:45, and I'm taking my time. It shows the work that's at my job is because of packages. And when there's no packages, it's a lot lighter of a day. Then it becomes hard to spread the work out. It really does, because then you're kind of like, they have what you call stationary events. You'd almost have to have stationary events in order to not get done too quick. So I don't complain about packages, because the packages have created my job. Gives me the time. So keep on ordering stuff on Amazon. That's keep the postal workers busy delivering packages. Funny packages are like the freaking cat litter. I just never thought that cat litter would be going through the mail. It's just like, it's dirt. Yeah, why would you order cat litter online? But they do. Cat litter. Yeah, we deliver cat litter. So, yeah, so I will let you guys go. I hope that you guys will have a good day, and thank you.